Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 British fantasy series. For this list, we're focusing on the very best of traditional fantasy. That's the swords and magic type that British television has conjured up over the decades. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Number 10. The Letter for the King. Crossing over from the page to the screen, this series brought a beloved Dutch fantasy novel to international audiences, and with strong British production roots, it absolutely earns its place here. The story follows Thierry, a young squire in training who stumbles into an epic quest when he answers a dying knight's call and is entrusted with a secret letter that could change the fate of an entire kingdom.
Well, how are you going to make him explode then?
No one's making anyone explode.
Unlike your typical young adult fantasy fare, this is surprisingly dark. The show also deserves recognition for its solid casting and its willingness to explore themes of destiny, sacrifice, and the burden of doing what's right when the cost is almost too great to bear.
If you can embrace the fullness of your pain, you can embrace the fullness of that power.
Number 9. Atlantis.
You can rest assured it will be delivered safe and sound.
Good. Because if you lose the cargo, you lose your fingers.
Mythology lovers, this one is for you. When BBC One launched this sun-soaked adventure series, it threw Greek legends into a blender, and the result was a wildly entertaining mix of heroes, monsters, and adventure. Following a young man named Jason who mysteriously finds himself transported to the ancient city of Atlantis, the show wasted no time introducing familiar faces from classical mythology, including Pythagoras and Hercules, reimagined in gloriously fun ways.
How can I thank you? Your survivalist thanks enough.
Though a small token wouldn't go amiss.
Though it ran for only 2 seasons before BBC cancelled it, much to fans' frustration, it left behind a legacy with the kind of swashbuckling storytelling that reminds you why fantasy is such a beloved genre in the first place.
That was unworthy of you. The idea is to win, is it not?
Number 8. Zapped.
Do you think that mere ropes can hold a wizard such as I? What's this, a double knot?
Yep.
Now let's take a sharp left turn into comedic territory, because not all magic needs to be dark and brooding. This comedy followed Brian Weaver, a hapless young man from modern-day London who accidentally gets transported to a medieval fantasy world called Monty, where he's stuck working in an apothecary's shop and desperately trying to find his way home.
I cannot believe you've got something in mind, Brian. My bracelet, or to give it its proper title, the Amulet of Ultarum.
Yeah, no, I've not got it.
Where is it?
Must have left it at that pub.
Great balls of crud!
A not-so-typical fish-out-of-water story with a delightfully absurdist British sense of humour laid on top. Zapped's charm, of course, comes from its affectionate mockery of fantasy tropes, daft quests, and dafter fantastical scenarios, while simultaneously building a genuinely warm ensemble cast that kept viewers coming back for the laughs.
Oh God, I'm gonna die, Barbara.
Number 7. Dark Knight.
He murdered my father, and all those who were dear to me.
Prince John Ivanhoe still lives.
Before you ask, no, this isn't Christopher Nolan's Gotham. Airing in the late 1990s, this lesser-known British gem deserves far more recognition than it typically gets in conversations about fantasy television. Set in a medieval world teetering on the edge of chaos, the series followed a wandering, brooding knight who traveled the land, righting wrongs and confronting supernatural forces, blending the atmosphere of Arthurian legend with darker, more gothic undertones than most family-oriented fantasy of its era dared to attempt.
A young man with nothing to lose is not always the best man to send on such a quest. But if we want him back...
What makes Dark Knight particularly interesting in retrospect is how it seemed to anticipate the grittier, morally ambiguous approach to fantasy storytelling that would later dominate the genre, a proto-Game of Thrones spirit wrapped in a modest, late 90s British production package that punched well above its weight.
You are a power for good, Ivanhoe. Promise me that you will always fight for what is right and true.
Mother.
Promise.
Number 6, Kröd Mändoon and the Flaming Sword of Fire.
Well, go on, do the thing.
What thing?
All hail Chancellor.
All hail Chancellor Dungalow!
Say that title 3 times fast. This comedy fantasy series took aim at the sacred cows of the sword and sorcery genre with an approach that caught many viewers completely off guard. The show followed the spectacularly inept Kröd Mändoon, a self-styled freedom fighter leading a ragtag band of resistance warriors against the comically evil Chancellor Dungalow. And the result was something that felt like a love letter to fantasy epics written by someone who found the whole genre utterly ridiculous, in the best possible way.
No more screaming. Screaming what? Oh, you referred to my war cry. Yes, it's okay.
Though it was cancelled after just one season, Kröd Mändoon built a cult following, and it's an underappreciated gem of British comedy.
Can I pull this off? Yes or no?
Number 5, Legend of King Arthur. Rewinding the clock to 1979, this BBC children's serial holds a special place in the hearts of British fantasy fans of a certain generation.
Father, my sword! What's that? Left it in our tent. I'll run back and get it.
The Legend of King Arthur brought the timeless Arthurian myth to life with a sincerity and theatrical grandeur that was genuinely remarkable for its era, weaving together the familiar threads of Excalibur, the Round Table, Guinevere, and Merlin into an emotionally resonant narrative.
Why do you kneel to me?
Because, Arthur, I know from this that you are the true-born king of this land.
Despite being primarily for kids, it never dumbed down the political intrigue, moral complexity, or tragic undertones that make the Arthurian cycle one of the most enduring stories in all of human literature. As a cornerstone of British fantasy television and a bold early attempt to adapt one of the nation's most beloved mythological traditions for the small screen, its place on this list is more than justified.
Take Excalibur and fear no man in battle.
Number 4, The Chronicles of Narnia.
Excuse me?
Goodness gracious me.
Are you a fawn?
Yes.
Few things capture the magic of childhood quite like stepping through a wardrobe and into a snow-covered world where a magnificent lion reigns. An adventure waits around every corner. The BBC's beloved adaptation of C.S. Lewis's iconic fantasy novels introduced generations of British children to Narnia in a way that felt truly awe-inspiring, especially its charmingly handcrafted practical effects.
And where are they? These other 3 humans?
The production tackled 4 of Lewis's novels across its run, each installment bringing new characters and dangers to a series that could only be described as a thrilling adventure. Decades later, those BBC episodes remain a touchstone of British cultural memory, proof that you didn't need a Hollywood budget to transport an audience to another world entirely.
So you've come at last. At last. To think that I should live to see this day.
Number 3, Robin of Sherwood.
And who may you be?
Ah! Robin of Locksley!
Here's where things get truly legendary. When ITV aired Robin of Sherwood in the 80s, it didn't just retell the familiar tale of the outlaw hero of Sherwood Forest, it completely reinvented it.
The master demands a sacrifice. A girl, pure and innocent.
Created by Richard Carpenter, the series wove Celtic mysticism and pagan mythology into the Robin Hood legend in a way that had never been attempted before, with the archer hero presented as a chosen champion of the forest god Herne the Hunter, giving the familiar tale an otherworldly, almost spiritual dimension. The show was groundbreaking not just in its storytelling approach, but in its atmosphere. Beautifully shot in atmospheric English woodlands, scored by Clannad's iconic and haunting soundtrack, and performed by a cast that brought emotional depth to its characters. Robin of Sherwood set the template for every serious British fantasy drama that followed it.
It's not much for what you did for us.
It's more than enough, and we can't accept that.
Number 2, Britannia.
All right, who wants to go first?
Dark, dangerous, and unlike anything else on British television, Britannia arrived in 2018 and immediately announced itself as something extraordinary. Set in 43 AD during the Roman invasion of Celtic Britain, the series plunged viewers into a world of warring tribes, mysterious druids, and forces of darkness that seemed to bleed through the very soil of ancient Britain, all underscored by an anachronistically brilliant rock soundtrack that made the whole thing feel thrillingly, defiantly contemporary.
Stop the Romans. Send them home. Kill the general. Such a stupid question.
Britannia created a world that felt threatening, where the supernatural was a force shaping the destiny of every character on screen. Jez Butterworth's writing gave the series a mythological weight, grounding its wilder flights of fantasy in real human emotion.
I had a vision. The demon is here.
Number 1, Merlin.
What is it, Master? I could move objects like that before I could talk.
Then by now you should know how to control yourself.
For 5 magnificent seasons between 2008 and 2012, Merlin captured the hearts of audiences around the world and became one of the most beloved British fantasy series of the modern era. The genius of the show's premise, reimagining the young Merlin and the young Arthur as contemporaries navigating the treacherous political landscape of Camelot before the legend begins, gave the Arthurian myth a fresh, emotionally immediate energy that felt exciting.
You chose to poison one of my own. You may regret that.
Over its run, Merlin evolved from a charming family adventure into an epic, building toward a finale that left an entire generation of fans heartbroken in the most wonderful way. Beyond the dragons, the sorcery, and the spectacular set pieces, what truly elevated Merlin above its peers was the richly drawn central relationship between its two leads. A bond of friendship, loyalty, and sacrifice that gave the show a beating human heart beneath all the magic, and made saying goodbye to Camelot one of the most memorable farewells in British television history.
Well, I think I should take some of this with me from now on. You never know when you might need to kill someone.
Did we leave any of your favorite magical series off this list? Cast your spell in the comments below and let us know.